Hey, house guests, welcome to today's crazy Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. Oh my goodness, it's a crazy day. We've got a vote flip cooking. We're going to get into it. But first, our house guests of the day. I didn't even mean to do it, but first, but I did. Our house guests of the day are Linda Ford and the Real VB. Thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So NM1000, Maintenance Chick, William Dang, and Mary Ellen L. Thank you so much for your super chats. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to freaking brace myself for this because it's a lot. So when we left off yesterday, Riley and Cameron are up on the block. They had the power veto ceremony. Heisum did not use the power veto, which is like fine, whatever. But apparently he made a really harsh speech naming Riley as his target and asking everyone to vote her out. Now, I don't know until we see it how harsh this actually was, because I'm thinking back to week 1 when everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe that Corey had such a smug look on his face when they took him off the block. And like when we saw the episode, it felt like nothing. So like, I don't know, maybe this is different. I do feel like Heisum was probably harsh because he is on a power trip. So yeah, he's really losing the plot right now because he was all Mr. Everyone needs to be nice to each other. Like, this is a place of loving and acceptance, so get the F out, like that kind of vibe. That's what we're seeing now. He picks and chooses when things are supposed to be kumbaya. And yeah, it's just crazy that he was accusing Riley of like splitting the house and all that and like making it an uncomfortable place for so many people. And then he's doing the exact same thing and trying to make her feel ostracized. So yeah. Anyway, he apologized after when he realized how badly it came off, because I'm pretty sure multiple people went up to him and were like, that was harsh. Like, why did you do that? It definitely garnered some sympathy for Riley from the other house guests. So now, could there be a potential vote flip brewing? Yes. Okay, so also the target on Heisum's back is growing by the minute. Not only has he been winning comp after comp after comp 3 in a row, but his power tripping HOH-itis is rubbing people the wrong way. They don't like being told what to do. And they don't like hypocrites. So his own allies are talking about taking him out the first chance they get, even as early as next week. All right, so before we get into all the craziness, let's just check in with Cameron. What's Cameron doing, right? Because he's also up on the block. He's chatting with Red in the backyard at one point yesterday, and they're talking about how they may be the first bromance of the season, the beard bros. They just get along so well. And, they want to make sure that people are not going to target them because they are becoming such a clear duo. So they're like, you know what? We're going to keep it out in the open, because if we try to keep it under wraps, it's going to look really suspicious. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. Cameron says, Red, I've got you all the way to the end. When's the end for Cameron? And Red says, yeah, same. I got you too. So then Cameron is talking about his campaign strategy for the week. This should be good, right? And Cameron says, I'm keeping it chill. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary or any additional talking. My campaign is to trust. To trust? Ugh. So he says, I'm not going to campaign to people who aren't going to vote for me anyway. They're just going to use it against me if I do that. You just know that Riley is going to be working her ass off to stay this week. And Cameron is doing nothing. He's giving nothing. So if he gets evicted, that's partially his own fault, right? So Red says, yeah, everybody heard Heisum's POV speech. Riley is the target, and the votes aren't there to keep her. We'll see. So Red says Riley already knows she's going home. Okay, anyway. So yeah, Izzy and Mimi have a chat in the comics bedroom. Now we're going to start on the roller coaster of this vote flip. So Izzy says, I think we need to take Heisum out before jury. She thinks that he's going to be really bitter and he won't want to vote for any of their alliance members to win in the end because he's going to be pissed if he's one of the early jurors. Izzy says Heisum has been saying that I'm his final two, and I haven't like responded to it. So if I specifically make it to the end and he thought like he was my final two, he's not gonna vote for me to win. So Mimi says, okay, I get what you're saying, but Heisum is a shield for us. There are a lot of strong athletic players on the other side of the house. We need somebody, right? We need somebody to win competitions. We need somebody to be a target in front of us. I have to say, Mimi's right. While I do think that it would be really wild and entertaining for Heisum to be the next one out, I think that would be like kind of a dumb move on the part of the professors. That's just my opinion, but Izzy says, yeah, I didn't really think about that side of things. Let's keep thinking about it. So Izzy's like, it depends who wins HOH. You know, maybe our side doesn't take the shot yet, but if the other side wins and targets Heisum, we can't pass that up, right? So after this conversation, Mimi goes to the storage room to collect her thoughts and deliver us one of multiple amazing rants yesterday. Yes, I enjoy listening to her rant in the storage room. And like, honestly, her reads are spot on. So Mimi says she's really annoyed right now because one little speech has everyone frazzled. She's talking about Heisum's POV speech, of course. She says she's surrounded by a bunch of empaths who feel emotions very strongly, and she needs people to be more focused on what they're supposed to be focused on. She says if our alliance gets rid of Heisum next week, what alliance do we have? She's like, let's be realistic about this. For us, for the professors, it does not make sense for us to take out Heisum next week. It makes sense for everyone else. You know, it's like a slam dunk for everybody else to get Heisum out of here this early. But yeah, I mean, that's going to leave the professors super vulnerable if they don't have Heisum going out for them in competitions. So Mimi says, yeah, if we get rid of Heisum, the other side is just going to wipe us out. And we really need to stick to the plan for now. Take out Riley, keep Heisum for a few more weeks. She does feel like he could go pre-jury, but not next week. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so the house guests, they were having some fun out by the pool for a while yesterday. And I just have to say, it's so crazy to see Matt in the Big Brother pool. He is an Olympic level swimmer in this tiny ass pool. But I think everybody was having a lot of fun watching him show off his skills and all that. So that's cool. Anyway, back to the game. Later, Suri, Mimi, and Izzy are chatting on the balcony outside. I always forget they have that space because I feel like it's way underutilized and people don't go up there super often, but it seems like the last few days it's been busy. So these three are talking about the Heisum situation. You know, it's the same conversation that Izzy and Mimi were having earlier. And you know, should we take him out immediately? Should we keep him around? What do we do? So Izzy says, I know you're concerned that if we get rid of Heisum, we won't have a shield anymore, but Izzy feels like they will still have other shields. And again, she's saying a lot is going to depend on who wins this next HOH competition. At this point, they're all agreeing it's a done deal that Riley is going this week. Is that? Okay. And they're saying for next week, if they don't target Heisum, they agree that they want Cameron out. They don't want him sticking around longer than he needs to be. And if Cameron is saved by the POV next week, they're talking about putting Blue up and getting her out. Or, you know, maybe initial nominees, America and Blue, and then backdoor Cameron instead. We'll see. There's a lot of we'll sees here. Anyway, Jared and Corey are chatting in the bathroom. And Corey says, you know what? If we could get Suri and Izzy on board with keeping Riley, then it's a real possibility, right? Because Riley seemingly would have automatic votes from Jag, Blue, Matt, America, if she knows the other votes are there. She would rather keep Riley than Cameron, but she's not going to do it if the votes aren't there. But if they could get Sari and Izzy and then Corey and Jared, then she's got the votes to stay, right? That would be 8. And you need 7 to stay and 6 to tie this week. So Corey feels like Riley being there is definitely better for them than Cameron. I mean, obviously, Corey feels like he has a bond with Riley. She saved him week 1, so he kind of still owes her. And he feels like Riley is going to be looking out for him more than Cameron would. But, there's that concern. What's going to happen if we pull this off and keep Riley? Like, what are the consequences going to be with Heisum? Because although he can't play in the next HOH competition, if he were to win the veto and be safe for the week and then he's eligible for the next HOH, a lot of people are worried he's just going to keep winning these competitions and then he is going to be out for blood. So, yeah, Corey's saying we'd have to figure out a way to do this without causing a lot of shit. Good luck with that. So Jared's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm definitely second guessing as well. Who should we be taking out this week? But Jared is worried because if Riley stays, it's not like she's just isolated and she's a number that can be picked up. Riley would still have Matt, Jag, and Blue at the least. Like, she might have other people too, but she will have those 3 tight with her. And that is a concern. So they're going to talk more about this later, of course. Riley is hitting the campaign trail. She was on the hammock with Mimi in America, and Riley is talking all about Heisum's speech. I mean, she's really milking it. I can't blame her. She is definitely incorporating it into all of her game talks because she's just like, I can't believe he did that. Like, he really kicked me when I'm down, blah, blah, blah. She said it's not the best feeling. She doesn't want to go out like this. He really hurt her feelings with that speech. So, she's also going into how she feels like a lot of the stuff from week 1 was pinned on her because she was the HOH. And I would agree with that. I mean, I think she was responsible for, creating her family style alliance. It was a group effort though. I would say her, Blue, and Jag created that alliance together, but she is taking the brunt of the heat for that, for sure. She says Heisum was creating a false narrative about me. So she says if I stay, I can help people, I can compete, I can protect people. I just got to make it through this week. So she says, again, the first week was a blunder. I feel like she said blunder like 50 times yesterday. And she wishes she could erase it and start over. So at one point, America leaves to go to the bathroom, and Riley is doing, more pitching for Mimi. And Riley says, I'm very loyal to people who are loyal to me. Again, I can win competitions, I can protect you, but I can't do that if I'm gone. So she says, if you keep me, I would owe you massively. I'll have your back. And Heisum will still be targeting me. You don't have to worry about him being pissed and coming after you, because if I'm in here, he's going to be targeting me. I will be a shield for you. And obviously, she says she would be targeting Heisum and only Heisum. But, like, what if Heisum wins the veto? Then you still have Riley in the house and Heisum, and Heisum's pissed. So Mimi is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to think about it. Mimi's answer is no. All right. Meanwhile, Corey is chatting with Heisum in the HOH room. And Corey says, I think Riley is kind of viewing your POV speech as a good thing for her game-wise, because it was a very obvious call out on your part. So now she can really sell that she would target you if she stays, right? So she's really going to be milking that. And Heisum's like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of damage control about the speech. And Corey's like, well, I mean, it should just be like light damage control, right? Because I don't think the speech was nuclear. And Heisum's like, yeah, I don't think it's nuclear either. But I need to see it first. I need to see it. But he says that's how Riley has been acting. Like it was this huge thing. And he says that Jag has been reinforcing that with Riley. So that's not helping the situation. But Corey says, yeah, well, the speech didn't really change much for me. Okay. So Heisum says, I'm an honest person. There's nothing hidden about my gameplay. He says, Riley split the house on day 2, and it just feels selfish to me. She took away everyone's choice to decide for themselves, like who they want to play with. And that's bad gameplay. And Heisum says she should take responsibility for what she did. he was like really going off yesterday to multiple people about like how this is Riley's fault. Like she's got to own up to this, blah, blah, blah. She was selfish. They talk about this for a bit. And then Heisum drops a little nugget to Corey, which will come up later. Heisum lets Corey know, hey, people were suggesting you as a nominee this week. Like your name was coming up a lot. People were saying that you were like the brains behind your alliance. And I'm not really sure why everybody was dropping your name because I didn't think you really like did anything to deserve that. I mean, I think that people were dropping his name because, well, especially Riley and friends were dropping Corey's name because they know that Heisum was talking a lot of shit about Corey last week, and they were hoping that they could get him to target Corey instead of Riley, right? That's why they're dropping his name. But yeah, Heisum's like, I don't know, I don't get it. All right, so after Heisum is talking to Dragon Blue, more damage control about the POV speech. Oh, I don't want to hear about this speech anymore. But he's also talking about how he wants BB25 to have epic gameplay. He likes Game of Thrones style gameplay, very strategic. I'm just curious, like, who do you think Heisum sees himself as on that show? And like to go along with that, who do you see Heisum as from Game of Thrones? Like, I feel like he thinks that he's like this noble person, blah, blah, blah. Like maybe he's a Stark or something. Maybe he's like Jon Snow. I don't know. But like, is he a Cersei? Is he like a Littlefinger or the Spider? Like who is he on the show? I don't know. I would like to know your opinions on all that. So let me know. And if you're watching this back, let me know in the comments. Who do you think Heisum sees himself as on Game of Thrones, and who do you see him as? I'm just curious. Okay. So anyway, they talk more about working together moving forward. We know that Jag and Blue have been trying to set something up with Heisum because they feel like, there's a good chance that Riley could be going this week. And they wanted to set something up with Heisum for after she's gone. So they've been working this whole thing, and we know that Heisum has been saying he doesn't want any brown on brown violence. He won't be targeting Jag. He's been telling Blue, we're both part of the LGBTQ community, so he's not going to be targeting her. Oh no, not Ramsay Bolton. So, so yeah, they've been working on building that alliance together and talking about representing their communities in this game. All right. Meanwhile, Cirie and Riley are chatting out on the hammock, and Cirie is making moves. She's giving Riley advice on her campaigning. She's like, all right, this is what I need you to do. I need you to talk to Felicia because Felicia is pissed about Heisum's speech. That speech really was not sitting right with her. So you need to talk to her tonight while it's still fresh, right? See if you can capitalize on that, get some sympathy from her. Also, I need you to have a genuine heart-to-heart conversation with Izzy. I almost choked on my own hair. Tell her that you want to get to know her as a person, right? Not just as a number. She needs to be able to feel like she can work with you moving forward. So you really need to like have heart to heart with her. So Cirie says, if you can get Izzy and Felicia on board, you'll stay this week. We can do this. So Riley is talking about how she wants to stay. She wants to backdoor Heisum, get him out of here. And Cirie's like, yeah, everybody wants Heisum to go, including Izzy. And Riley was definitely surprised to hear this because she was under the assumption that Izzy and Heisum were so freaking close. Because remember, the rumor last week was that Izzy and Heisum were running the show for the Professor's Alliance. So it was assumed that they were super tight. But at this point, Izzy is ready to cut Heisum loose. So Cirie says she would rather have Riley stay than Cameron this week. Dang, it feels like Cirie is serious about this vote flip in this conversation because we saw earlier in the week, yes, she was promising her vote to Riley, but then she was saying to Jared and Izzy, like, I'm not voting to keep Riley. I'm just telling her that. And then I'm going to be like, at the last minute, I got scared and I couldn't vote to keep her. So now it feels real. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of little fingers in the chat. The Night King. Oh my God. All right. Eventually, Izzy joins Riley and Cirie out by the hammock. And Riley, of course, is talking about Heisum's speech again. No more. And then she takes Cerie's advice and she starts pitching to Izzy. She starts trying to kind of have a heart here. Riley says, there's so much that I wish that I could change about week 1. It was a blunder. She should have taken things slowly and gotten to know people before she tried to like form any alliances. She says, I never got to just be with everyone and talk to everyone. I mean, you could have. You chose to hang out with the same people all week. But she says, that's not who I am. And I don't want to go out like that. I want to get to know everyone, even if I am going to be leaving on Thursday. So I feel like Cirie is trying to get Riley back on track here because Cirie specifically wants Riley to chat about her experience with Izzy, right? Not just in general. So Cirie asks, why did you not try to connect more with Izzy? She's like, Izzy is my girl. She's, we're super tight. Why did you not try to get close with her? And Riley says, I effed up. I felt like I was stuck in the HOH room. Not this again. Stuck in the HOH room? Come on. She says, I didn't get to hang out with people, and I want to change that. She's talking about how cool and awesome Izzy is. And it was funny because at one point she was like, there was never a moment where I was like, I don't want to hang out with Izzy. It just like happened that way. But I definitely remember, I think she was talking to Jag at one point, Riley saying, I don't want to hang out with Izzy. I don't want to talk to her because she didn't see herself working with Izzy moving forward. So she didn't want to waste time with her. And she was like, Izzy makes me uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. So she definitely did say things like that. But obviously she's not going to admit that here. Yeah. So she's talking about how cool and awesome Izzy is. And this goes on for a little bit. And then Izzy's like, yeah, I think this is a good start. I can't make any promises to you or Heisum either way, but I am open to having more conversations. And Izzy says, I got to look out for myself, right? I'm my own number one here. And if you see a path where like you can help me get further in the game, like I'm definitely open to discussing that with you. Okay, so the door has opened. All right, after Izzy and Cirie are talking things over, and Cirie says, if you look at what's happening here, Heisum is eliminating threats to himself, right? But I'm thinking about us and our games. We would have more of a chance to beat Riley in competitions than we would against Cameron, right? Like Riley is a beast, but Cameron also a beast. So Cirie also says we would still have numbers if Riley stays because she really only has Matt, Jag, and Blue. Is that true though? I feel like she's got more than that. But anyway, Cirie says, plus, if we keep her, she's going to owe us. So then Jared joins in, and Izzy says, I worry if we keep Riley, it's really going to give her like a power boost. It's going to give her fuel. And like her and her group will be able to bring in more people. They'll be able to say like, look what we just did. We beat the odds. We got Riley to stay. And then they're going to be able to use that energy and pull in more numbers. Izzy also is not convinced that Riley would honor any promises to her. She thinks, yeah, Cirie, Jared, you guys would probably be good with Riley. But Izzy is not feeling the same for her situation because let's not forget, Riley was saying that she wanted to target Heisum and Izzy. So Izzy is not feeling great knowing that Riley was throwing her name around last week. So Jared brings up, yeah, also Corey said that Riley would be a better number for us than Cameron would. And they're wondering if Riley were to stay, do we lose Corey to Riley? Is he going to be more loyal to her than he is to us? Something to think about. I mean, I think Corey is loyal to himself, number one, right? I feel like he would flip flop all over the place and he's not really loyal to one specific group more than the other. I think it's very situational for him. But anyway, Izzy also brings up, if we keep Riley, we're going to have to face the wrath of Heisum. Something to think about. Ooh. So by the end of this conversation, they're in agreement that Riley has to go for now. A few minutes later, Corey joins them on the balcony And Corey is telling them about his conversation with Heisum. He's like, yeah, Heisum told me that people have been dropping my name up in that HOH room. And immediately Izzy and Suri are like, no, Heisum is lying. That's not true. So Corey's like, well, Heisum's really spiraling right now. Yeah. And he says, Heisum kind of implied that you guys were the ones saying my name. Now, this was confusing for me because from what I understood in that conversation with Corey and Heisum, I thought Heisum was saying that the people dropping Corey's name were in Riley's group. So I don't know if Corey was like lying there or if he misinterpreted what Heisum was saying, or maybe I heard it wrong. There's a lot going on here. But yeah, he was saying, oh, Heisum was implying that Suri, Izzy, you guys were saying my name. So Bowie comes up for a few minutes and interrupts the conversation. Jared leaves at one point, the feed switch, blah, blah, blah. But eventually they come back to Corey, Izzy, and Suri chatting. And Suri says, no one in our group has said your name, Corey. You don't have to worry. And the group she's referring to, I believe, is their group of 4, which is Corey, Izzy, Suri, and Jared. So Izzy and Suri agreed. They're mad at Heisum right now. He's trying to like throw them under the bus. Also, they're, noticing how Jag and Blue were up in that HOH room a lot with Heisum yesterday. So they're wondering, like, is Heisum trying to pull in Jag and Blue? I mean, that is kind of what's going on here. And they're wondering, like, is he going to try and throw us under the bus to Jag and Blue? Is he going to try and make us their targets? Like, what's going on here? If he's going to say stuff like that to Corey, what's he saying to Jag and Blue? So Izzy starts asking, like, should we keep Riley? Should we keep Riley to go after Heisum? Should we keep Riley? I mean, she's getting worked up here, which happens, kind of frequently. But anyway, they're asking Corey, what do you think? And Corey says he would rather keep Riley over Cameron. Obviously, he's got a better relationship with Riley. And Corey says, if we keep her, the 4 of us, me, you, Jared, we should all be good with Riley if she wins HOH. And, they also feel like Heisum is going to spiral even more if Riley stays. Absolutely. And they start counting votes for Riley to stay. So, of course, Jag, Blue, Matt, Corey, Suri, Jared, Felicia, Izzy, that's 8, not even including America, who would definitely jump on board if she knew the votes were there. So, yeah, they feel like, wow, we have the votes. And now all of a sudden, they're leaning towards keeping Riley again. Oh my God. In other news, Riley is following Suri's instructions and she has a chat with Felicia. And I'm not going to get super into this because a lot of it's the same stuff that we've heard from Riley about Heisum's speech, and she wishes she could go back and erase week 1, blah, blah, blah. And Felicia admits, yes, she has more of a connection with Riley than she does with Cameron. So she really wants to talk to Suri about the situation. She says she is leaning towards keeping Riley. Oh, okay. So there were a lot of other little discussions about the potential vote flip amongst Suri, Izzy, Jared, Felicia, Mimi, Corey. And I'm not going to repeat all of them a million times because it's very tedious. But by the end of the night, it seemed like the only 2 people for the vote flip were Suri and Izzy. Now, it seemed like the rest of that group was against Jared, Felicia, Corey, Mimi. They all have their own reasons. Jared thinks Riley just has too deep of a crew, right? She's got Jag, Matt, Blue. She's got a lot of people along for the ride with her. So it's kind of dangerous to keep her around. Felicia is like, maybe we don't rock the boat yet. Maybe we should just proceed with the plan. Corey, what was Corey saying? Corey was saying it would be good for them short term to keep Riley, but long term might not be so great because she is still such a huge threat to win competitions. She's got a lot of people working with her. And Corey's realizing while he is closer to Riley than he is to Cameron, Riley has a lot of people that are closer to her before Corey, right? Like she has a lot of people higher up on her list of people to work with than Corey. And Mimi had another epic storage room rant up talking about how Riley still has to be the one to go, and this alliance needs to freaking stick to a plan for 7 days. Come on, get it together. Yeah, she's not happy that the alliance is trying to flip things here and keep Riley. She says, Riley's got to go, right? We got to keep Heisum as a shield. We got to keep him around to win things for us. Okay, so this morning, Sari and Izzy are still wanting to keep Riley. So this plan has survived the night. A lot of times everybody will be all like on board with something late at night, early morning, and then the next morning they wake up and they're like, what? Like, what did I agree to? What am I doing? But no, they're still on board with this, and they're just like super annoyed that Heisum was telling the professors during that meeting the other day that they're not allowed to make any other alliances with people outside of their group, and yet, they figure he's making one with Jag and Blue. And that was kind of confirmed to Izzy last night. She was asking Heisum about his conversation with Jag and Blue, and he said, yeah, they're trying to make an alliance with me. They're trying to name it. I said, like, let's not name it yet. So they're not happy to hear this. They feel like it's very, very hypocritical, and Heisum is trying to set himself up with people outside of their alliance, and then he's telling everybody else they're not allowed to do that. So Sari and Izzy are talking about getting the Bye Bye Bitches together for a meeting today because they still want to keep that group together, right? Just a reminder, that is Sari, Izzy, Felicia, Bowie, Mimi, and that's it. So they want to make sure that's still good. But like, Mimi is not going to be happy about this vote flip. I feel like she's still going to push back a little bit, but I don't know if she's going to be able to turn things around here. I mean, the train has really left the station at this point. We'll see. But Sari and Izzy had a chat with Matt this morning, and they told him they want to keep Riley. But in order to do that, they're going to need some reassurances that they will be protected because Heisum is going to be pissed. So, of course, Matt says, yes, you're going to be good with me. I will protect you. Obviously, he's got a great chance to win some physical competition. So he's saying he'll protect them. And then later, Sari and Izzy are talking to Riley, Matt, and Jag, and they say, yeah, we are on board to keep you, Riley. Of course, Riley and friends are promising to keep them safe. There was some talk about like a new alliance forming with this group, and then they were going to have like extra people added on, like the whole buddy system thing. Like, I think Felicia was mentioned, Jared, America. I feel like, Blue, right? Blue would be part of that. I'm not sure who else I'm missing, but I'm going to have more details on that tomorrow. It was like I was a little unsure of that when I was working on this today at the last minute, but yeah, I don't know. They're trying to get some sort of alliance together. I don't know how serious this is, but we will find out as we continue on this week. But now Sari and Izzy, not only are they flipping this vote on Heisum, they also want to try and make this unanimous for Cameron to go. Oh my God. Because they want to see the look on Heisum's face, not only when Cameron is evicted, but when it's unanimous. So they're a little bit worried about some of the people that would have to be on board for this to happen. I mean, Bowie has not been brought into this yet. They don't know how she's going to react. Obviously, Mimi is like very against Riley staying at this point, but I'm sure if she, knows all the votes are there and there's nothing she can do about it, of course she's going to like vote with everybody, right? But the biggest problem here is Red. Because if they're going to try and get Red's vote, there's a very good chance that Red is going to go spill to Cameron. And then, of course, Cameron is going to go spill to Heisum. And then, like, it's out there, right? So they're not really sure how they're going to approach the Red situation. They were still speculating, is there going to be something going on with the Nether region? Is Bowie going to have the power to cancel out somebody's vote? Though they haven't had any indication that this is the case. But again, it's all speculation. And they're thinking like, okay, maybe we can convince Bowie, if she does get to take away somebody's vote, that she should take away Red's vote. And then it can still be unanimous. And we can tell Red, like, we didn't want you to have to vote out your friend, blah, blah, blah. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's where we're at. We've got 2 days left until the eviction. As of now, it looks like Riley is staying. But will it stick? Because again, we've got 2 days left until the eviction. And hi! How quickly things can change.
Hi.
Hello. Another big question. Is Heisum going to find out? Is Cameron going to find out? They're both oblivious right now. They have no idea. And Heisum is still try to like threaten people like Matt and say, Riley doesn't have votes, so if you vote against the House, like you're probably gonna be in trouble. So not a good look. But yeah, it's been crazy. So anyway, I want to thank today's super chatters because you guys are awesome and we can't do this without you. So Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much as always. And Jefferson says, Mimi cam rants are pure gold. Totally agree. I love the way that she paces around the storage room and like every time she passes one of her snacks, she'll like take one. I love it. And honestly, again, she's got great reads. So yeah. I want to say too, do I think that this vote flip is good for the professors? No. I really don't. Is it entertaining? Yes. All right. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much for the super chat as always. William Dang, thank you so much. And William says, my fave live feeds updates. Oh, thank you. Continue your good job. Do you feel Heisum's HOH is worse than Willie Hance and Kyle Moore so far? Great season so far. Willie Hance, didn't he get ejected from the game for like putting hands on somebody? Like, didn't he get ejected?
Did he get ejected or did he quit?
I thought he got ejected because he like was he the chest bump? I don't know. He got it. I'm pretty sure he got ejected. So that's pretty bad. Kyle Moore. I actually thought of Kyle today because I was like, wow, I feel like there's some similarities here. How Kyle got freaking blindsided and he was so confident that what's her face was it Stephanie was staying, and then she got evicted. I definitely saw the parallels there. I mean, this is pretty bad for sure. But Kyle Moore was also really bad. So it's hard to say, but I see the comparison for sure. Edward Simmons, thank you so much for the super chat. Edward says, in your opinion, do you think they will cancel the eviction because of the Luke situation? I don't think so. I think if they were going to cancel one, it would have been last week. I don't think they would here. I mean, I could be wrong for sure, but I think they will have the eviction this week as planned. What do you think?
I think they may change some stuff down the pipeline.
Yeah.
But we won't know about it.
Right. I don't think it would be this week. Good question, though. Gabe L, thank you so much for the super chat. Gabe says, she can be a lot, but I'd much rather see Riley stay than Cameron. Plus, I think it's better for Suri and Felicia's game. Riley could go after Heisum / Izzy. Okay. I see what you're saying, but also, like, I don't know. Would Riley go after Izzy? I think if Izzy were to extend that olive branch and keep Riley, that'd be, like, really crappy to go after her after that, right? I don't know. But it's an interesting point. Like, if, say, Riley does stay and she does take out Heisum, who are her targets after that? Like, what is she going to do? Especially if this is a unanimous vote. Like, it would almost be better for the professors that are flipping if this is not a unanimous vote, because then they're on the side that saved Riley, right? And they will have some protection. But if everybody votes to save Riley, is she going to owe everyone? You know what I mean? Like, so it's almost better.
There's no way everybody's going to vote to save her.
Yeah, so it's interesting. But I agree. I would also rather see Riley stay than Cameron, just for like entertainment purposes and such. Yeah, thank you. Bailey Elmos, thank you so much for the super chat. Bailey says, during moments like the last HOH comp, I always wonder what people think. Oh, who just stumble across BB flipping through the channels. Thanks for the updates. Yes, seriously, whenever they do something like ridiculous or silly, I just think like, what if people are flipping through and they're just like, what the crap is this?
This is garbage. We're never watching this again.
Well, it's also like, what if you're trying to explain Big Brother to a friend and they're like, okay, I'll watch an episode. Like, I'll see what it's all about. And like, that's the episode they see. Very funny for sure. But I mean, that's part of the charm, right? Maybe. All right. Dane Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat. Nini Girl, thank you so much. Oh, Nini Girl says Rhaegar for sure. I don't remember who Rhaegar is. It's been a while since I watched Game of Thrones. I still have to watch the spinoff, the dragon one. I think that was on like during a Big Brother season, and for that reason, I like just couldn't start it. Like I watched the first episode, and then I got too busy and I didn't watch it, but I need to. Rhaegar, that sounds so familiar. Let me do a quick Google because now I'm curious. Let's see. I feel like that's a Targaryen, right? Oh, is he in the spinoff? Yes. Okay, he's in the spinoff, so that's why I don't remember him. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that and get back to you on that. And then I think there was another super chat here. Let me just see. I don't want to leave anybody out. Oh, I also want to say thank you to anybody who is tipping us like on the rewatch. We so appreciate that. Seriously, thank you so much. Dasha Romero, thank you for the super chat. And Dasha says, I cannot wait for a Suri versus Heisum blowout. Yeah, I mean, Suri has been saying, like, I'm ready for this. Like, he can come at me. I will tell him straight up, like, why this is happening. So, be very interesting to see that confrontation. I know. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see how this plays out. It's always interesting to see if a flip can stick, right? We still have 2 days left. So what is your gut reaction? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't think it's going to stick.
You don't?
No.
I don't know. So we'll find out. But we'll be back tomorrow. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.
Why, you think it's going to stick?